Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. That means it's time with Teri. Messages from your angels. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Juan. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Nikki Ryan. Let me make sure I missed anybody. Hi, Oil Painter. It's so great to see you. We've missed you. Lucky wanted to come in he always looks so tortured when he has to sit here. He squints and looks all blue. He really is much. Lucky, what if I say Tarit? You want to show him what your ears look like when they perk up? Oh, well. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, 14 Ree. Okay. All right, guys, here we go. He can go back in his bed. He'll be happy there. Okay. So today, Mars moves into Aries and out of Pisces, which makes Mars very happy. So we're going to see, I think, and I believe, people feeling that sense of movement forward, of wanting to take action, of feeling courageous in their own beliefs. I feel like it's going to be a bit of a reprieve from the murk that we've been walking through. I'm not saying that the murk is over, because it's clearly not. But having Mars hanging out, I think even Mars is going to be in Aries for, I almost want to say 6 months, because there's going to be a retrograde. So I think it's a great time to start to think about the dynamics of Aries and the higher vibrations of Aries. Yes, can it be blunt? Can it be a little curt, a little unemotional and wanting to get its job done? But it's also the truth seeker. So good morning, Lucky Kift. Or Lucy Kift, I'm sorry. I'm so used to my dog. I saw Lucky. Good morning, Morning Star, CC Pops. I said hi to Chris. Chateau Versailles. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so because Shelly inspired me last week to pull one of Kyle Gray's cards, I decided to do that before we started today. And we got the drum again. And it was interesting because when we looked at it before, I hadn't read what it said in the book. And the drum represents the four corners of the earth. It represents the heartbeat. It represents Mother Earth's heartbeat. And almost kind of a little bit like binaural beats that we see when we're doing our meditations. So, and also this card talks about dreaming and journeying. So I want to throw this out, because here we are on Sunday, and next Sunday we're going to have another eclipse. So you guys, we keep seeming to be together on pivotal days for the stars. So I feel like this week, as we take time to journey inward, what is our deeper truth? Mars. What is it that we want to birth into the world as we watch the world recalibrate how we do things? And instead of waiting to see sort of how it's going to come towards us, this is going to sound a little bit weird. I feel like taking that Mars intention and that Mars kind of, I always think of the Knight of Swords in the tarot deck, because it's just like, whoosh, whoosh, and then saying to Spirit, you know what? I like this about my life. I like this about my life. This is what I'd like to shift. This is where I'd like to go. This is what I'd like to experience. And this is dreaming from your heart. Again, the drum beat, in all cultures and in all forms of meditation, there is this beat of the heart that is facilitated by the drum. So I really want to offer that. And for some of you might even want to go onto YouTube and find, I don't know if you've heard of hanging drums. They have the most beautiful sound. It's not like a normal drum like this for some reason. It has a more, to me, a more treble sound versus a bass sound. So you might even go looking for that on the internet and see if that resonates with you, and see how that plays out for you this week, facilitating your meditations. Okay, so let's start with Pisces and move our way towards Aries. Oil Painter, you pulled the drum this morning too? That's so funny. because I actually ask Spirit what card will be most palatable to the tribe. So I love the synchronicity of that. Good morning, Creator's Light Sun. Good morning, Janine. Good morning, Oe Mamae. I never know if I'm saying that right. Good morning, Tebow. Okay, here we go. Let's start with Pisces and work our way towards why do I keep my brain stops going towards Aries. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Good morning, Miriam from Pakistan. Good morning, is that Loki B and Vishul Thakur? I like to say everybody's name. Pamela Lodge. I'm sorry if I miss anybody. I try to catch everybody. All right. I think I said hi to Miriam. Beat them back. All right. Here we go. Pisces, rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. And for those of you that are new to this particular show, I say stelliums because when you have a cluster of planets in one house or sign, it is, I believe, extremely powerful towards and influential on your life path. Good morning, CJD. All right. Our first angel is Athena. The second is Akasha. The third is Archangel Michael. And the final is Serena. I'm sorry, I almost said Serafina. Okay. Oh, wow. Pisces stellium beat him back. All right, this is for you. Good morning, Maria. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay. All right, Pisces, joining Athena is the frog. Joining Akasha is the death card. Joining Archangel Michael is the mystery. And joining Serena is the letting go card. Okay. Oh, before I go on, good morning, Scorpio twins. Is it twins? Twinsy. Sorry, my cursor was in the way. Okay, so first thing I want to say is Stephen isn't here today because he's in Colorado with his partner. He'll be there for the next 2 weeks. So he might pop in maybe, but he sends his love to everybody. And I want to go back for those of you that just joined the room. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Posted Up. I want to remind you that we pulled the drum card from Archangel Michael's, from Kyle Gray's deck. I got distracted by Creator Light Sun saying, I hate Michael. I don't know what that means. Because again, I want to offer this as an opportunity to journey inward, to use the sound of the drum to facilitate the heartbeat, and then to connect in to what the heart wants for this experience within your world. Okay. So that's what we're talking about with the drum. So for Pisces, in our foundational position, the platform that we're sitting on, for Pisces, Athena is saying it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And then we have the frog. The frog is about emotional cleanup. So I believe that this is a time where for Pisces, it's about lovingly asserting yourself towards the things that you want. And I'm going to go to the fourth position and then come back around because Serena is the angel of abundance and money, and there's the letting go card. For those of you that are familiar, you know that the letting go card is Elsa going up the mountain in the movie Frozen. It's funny how some distance makes everything look small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits to break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Pisces, asserting yourself towards the things that you want, giving birth to the idea that it's not the how will it happen, but more the idea of how does it feel once it has happened. Because God and the angels will bring the resources that you need, but part of it is you're focusing on what you want to create versus how you will create it. I know that sounds a little funky in some ways, but it'll make sense, I hope, in a minute. In the opportunity, the obstacle is the death card, which is all about transformation. And if there's one thing that's going on in this planet right now, it is transformation at the millionth degree. So as we allow, rather than to be afraid of that transformation, how will it undermine me? We can start to think, how will it support me? And in that support, we learn that the transformation, this is the Akasha, the spiritual teacher card. And I believe that this is really not so much about Pisces teaching others, about allowing themselves to sit in an energy of learning how my own willingness to assert myself towards what I want is going to, okay, this is how I want to put it, because the assertion does not come from physical action and literally trying to take steps. It comes from opening up the mind of belief, the mind of possibilities, the universal baton pass, the idea that when you come up with an idea and then you sit in your truth of that idea and you really dig deep as to how much do I believe in this possibility, then that's where the cleanup of the frog comes. That's where I start to move towards what I want. And I believe in Asian cultures, the frog represents abundance and good luck as I assert myself. And then I end up inadvertently helping others transform by sharing my story. But before I do, I have to have the courage, Archangel Michael in this particular place, because this is, while he's the great protector, here it talks about courage, and the mystery card is about choice. I have to have the choice to be courageous. Now, Mars has moved into Aries and out of Pisces, where it's really not too happy. Mars feels a little, water and fire, it sort of doesn't work too well, right? So I feel like now that Mars is in Aries, even with all the other dynamics going on right now, it's like, oh, I'm home. So I can start to take that action of strategizing and moving towards. And in this particular case for Pisces, it's very much about going into where you want to be and knowing that Spirit is supporting you when it comes to the resources. And part of your job is to relax in that dynamic and invite it in. Okay. And I want to go back a little bit to our drum, right? Because I want to say that if you take advantage of the drum's energy and go into your heart chakra in your meditations and really feel that heartbeat, most of the time people will coach us through our breath. They'll coach us, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. And I feel like in this particular case, maybe it's about connecting to that heart and feeling that ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Okay. All right. On to our Aquariuses. Rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Yes, oil painter. Now that Mars is home, I definitely am hoping to find more energy. I've felt, I never feel depressed, but I've definitely felt sluggish. And where I live, we've had June gloom. It rained this morning, literally rained, which is beautiful, but it doesn't motivate me when it's all gloomy and doomy outside. So, yeah, I'm glad that Mars is back. Moving. And Venus moved forward this week. So that's nice too. So we'll start to, because I'm thinking of Venus as money. So again, we've got her moving forward. I like Mars's energy as a baller. Okay, here we go. I know, rain in California this morning. It smelled great though. I love that smell of the rain on the asphalt for some reason. Reminds me of my childhood. Okay, Aquarius, rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. This is for you. And again, I want to offer it this way, guys, because what we're doing here is we are getting the angels' advice for traversing the transits. It's like the weather report. We can think we're just walking in our everyday lives, but the stars, the moon, they have effects on us, whether we're aware of it or not. BM, I would say, what happens if Mars is in my 5th house? That's going to bring creative action involved. I think that's the opportunity for, and if you have Mars in the 5th house and then it's transiting then this is a time to really kind of connect with what is your deeper truth, and then start to think about what it would feel like to live that deeper truth. And then what spirit ends up doing is bringing opportunities. It brings phone calls. It brings people in your life that you haven't talked to in forever. And they're like, oh my goodness. And that's when you start to see how spirit opens doors. And when doors start slamming, then you're probably doing things from a little bit too of an earthbound pushing energy. That's the way I want to put it. Okay, here we go. Oh, I have a quick announcement to make. Excuse me, I hate to interrupt. I was notified by our tribal angel that we have another recipient of a half-hour free reading with me, and that person is CJD. So congratulations on your gift, and after the show, or if you want to go to one of my old videos, you can look in the information and email me so we can schedule your half hour. Okay, welcome Varun, welcome Isray or Isri. Sherry, welcome. Did I miss anybody? Yes, AJD, you won. Well, you didn't win because I don't do anything. This is not me. It has nothing to do with me. I don't pick them. I don't do anything. This is a gift that comes through from somebody who is touched by this tribe. And so here we go. Welcome, Sandra. Okay, on to Aquarius. No, did I just do Aquarius? I'm lost now. Did I do Aquarius? No, I didn't do Aquarius yet. Where am I, small wildflowers? I've lost my place. I really have. Okay, I believe I'm on Aquarius. Am I on Aquarius, you guys? Help me. Yes, yes, is that Scorpio Twinsies telling me yes, I'm on Aquarius? Okay, good, thank you. I don't know where my brain is going. Oh, CC Pups, thank you. Okay, here we go. Yes, this angel is an amazing, amazing energy. Okay, here we go. Aquarius, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Our first angel is Mystique. The second is Archangel Michael. The third is Desiree. And the final is Rochelle. Okay. Welcome, Pamela. Did I miss anybody? No, I don't think so. Oh. Thank you, Tebow. Welcome, Haley. My niece's name is Haley, and she spells her name exactly the same way. Oh, CC Pups, you're so sweet. Okay, here we go. Aquarius. Again, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. For those of you that are new, I go backwards. I start with Pisces and work my way towards Aries. Joining Mystique is the novice. Joining Archangel Michael is the butterfly. Joining Desiree is the lady of the lake. And joining Rochelle is the death card. Okay. Thank you, Isri. This is a community. I want you guys that are new here. Oh, welcome, Fern Farmer. I want to tell you that we're not just doing readings here. That's just kind of the B story. I believe what we're doing here is creating community. We meet on Sundays. We support each other. We send out almost like we're like a lighthouse. As we gather, our light shines. And during these troubled times, I believe that that's a very powerful energy to help balance the universe and what's going on as we ascend to a vibration of acceptance and allowing each of us to express our unique talents and our unique expressions. So, oh, Janine, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Welcome, Teresa. Welcome, Michaela. I think I'm saying that right. Michaela. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Okay, so here we go. Aquarius, our first set of angels. We have Mystique and we have the novice. Mystique for me is akin to Gloria Estefan's song, Coming Out of the Dark and Into the Light. Years ago, she had a bus accident and she was what she thought was paralyzed. And so here's Mystique coming out of the dark and into the light. And Mystique says to expect miracles, to keep moving forward. And then we have the novice. So the novice is about new beginnings. It's about skill without practice. So Aquarius, this is about practicing, moving ahead, moving out of the dark and into the light. It's not about resisting the challenges. It's about keeping your eye on the prize, because spirit is going to make those challenges make sense to you at some point. And in that making sense, it transforms that challenge into a tool that then empowers you to move forward in your creation of what you want on this planet. Because in the opportunity or the obstacle, we have the butterfly and we have Archangel Michael. The butterfly is a card of great transformation, and Archangel Michael talks about not just protection, but having the courage to go through this transformation. Oftentimes when we want to live something or to experience something, if we have been living a story that has not been authentic to that truth, then sometimes things must break away in order to allow that to come in. And that's what we see with the butterfly, because the butterfly must let go of being the caterpillar in order to be the butterfly. And it's a transformation of going into the dark. It's going into a place of isolation. So Spirit is asking Aquarius, rising sun, moon, and stelliums to have the courage to go into that dark place and then allow it to be transformed. And that will happen as you allow yourself to be of courage. The Lady of the Lake, she holds Excalibur, and she's coming up through some tumultuous waters. And those waters represent our emotions. And Desiree she'll talk about conditions not being favorable, but I do think more so that this is, again, about stormy seas. There's the possibility that Aquarius, it rules the internet. It rules large groups of people. It also, the 11th house, rules our hopes and wishes. And I think that's where we're going with this. And there may be the tendency for the Uranian Saturn energy to dumb that down a bit, meaning looking for the logical path and how will I get there? The scientist of Uranus. Because in this case, it's about following your heart in order to transform. It truly is. Thank you, oil painter. This Rochelle, I hate to play favorites, but she's my favorite angel because she says, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart. Let's go back to the drum beat, Aquarius. The heart, ba-boom, ba-boom, and allowing yourself this transformation. All of this is about transformation for Aquarius. And I know that the world is going through transformation, but in this case, I want to kind of put it as, wow, what if this transformation is moving me much closer to what I wanted? I thought about when I used to have a day job, I used to always say to myself, when I get to do whatever I want, I'm going to walk my dog whenever I want. I'm going to make my own schedule. And it seemed like a pipe dream. But I just kept sort of chanting that. Every time I had to drive home and walk the dog to go pee in the middle of the day, I'd look at him and I'd say, someday soon, I'm not going to have to drive back. I'm going to be here. And then the universe started to align to that dynamic. And in some respects, funny, my Aries rising was a little pissy about it because I was like, when I was saying it, because I didn't appreciate having to drive back and forth. I know this kind of goes off a little bit, but I want to say this is where you have to practice seeing the end of the story, seeing where you're headed and continuing to allow yourself to move in that direction as the transformation becomes just a slightly challenging. And if we think about this world dynamic, it is challenging. So trusting in a bigger picture that your heart is going to start to take over, meaning your heart's going to lead the charge. Okay. Welcome, Jacqueline. Welcome, Dawn. Libra, heart, Sagittarius, RIP. I don't understand that. Brain, sun, skull. I don't know what any of that means, but welcome to our show. Hi, William. Welcome, Sandra. Okay, here we go. I'm actually William. My name is Teri Hunter, and I'm an angel therapy practitioner, and I'm here every Sunday morning with messages from your angels for traversing the transits. Okay. Welcome, Lucy. Okay, here we go on to Capricorn, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Welcome, Simone from Toronto. Yes, here we go. We are traversing whether we like it or not. All right, Capricorn. It has been quite a few years for you. And I want to say this, I believe, if I remember correctly, don't hold my feet to the fire, the coming next week's eclipse is going to be in Capricorn. So here we go. And again, these eclipses are having a 6-month influence, which is taking us all the way through these transits, these retrogrades, and Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter, then moving forward again. So I really feel like capitalizing. Okay, I want to say this before I go on to Capricorn for you guys that are new. Saturn rules Capricorn, right? And Saturn is, they talk about, working hard, following the rules, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and Saturn expects that. And when you work hard, then Saturn will reward you. I have been in my meditations lately been shown that Saturn is really asking us to dig a little deeper as it joins Pluto to our deeper truth. And is our being energy, what Saturn wants us to work hard at is not somebody else's agenda. It's our agenda. So what do we believe about ourselves? What is our being energy? What is our disposition, our attitude as we endeavor the things that we want to experience on this planet? If we start to look at Saturn as not asking us to work hard for somebody else like a slave, but rather to work hard being the energy that we want to meet on the earth, thank you, Gandhi, but also to allow for those dreams, to allow for those higher vibrational experiences. And then as we allow for that, the universe will open up opportunities. And then we must be brave enough to walk through those opportunities. Because oftentimes the opportunities will have a bit of unknowingness about them. And we'll look back at where we've been and we'll be like, but I know I got that paycheck for $500. If I step into where I want to go, what will happen? And that's part of the being energy that Saturn, I think, transformed Saturn is asking of us. I believe I'll be fine. And then Saturn will reward us. Okay, now let's go on to the reading. Okay. I could talk all day about how I feel like, when we think about Vedic astrology and that Saturn has been looked at by people for over thousands, 2,000, 3,000 years as astrology, whatever, maybe it's 10,000 years has developed. We must, in some ways, allow the planets to evolve the same way people evolve. Because the shepherd that was on the hill with his sheep was not living in the same dynamic and energy and opportunities that we are now. So when we look at Saturn as demanding us to be our truth and to be that energy, then we can really see Saturn work in our favor and transform us versus dry us out and make us old and make us depressed. Okay. Oop. Okay, Capricorn, rising moon, sun, and stelliums. And boy, if you have a Capricorn stellium, the last 2 years, hello, you have been transforming whether you like it or not. Okay, we have Azure in the foundational position. We have Bridget in the opportunity of the obstacle. We have Indriel in the angel's advice. And then we have Rochelle again. Here we go. Elaine, Capricorn moon, this is you. Lukey, Capricorn sun, this is you too. Lukey, that Saturn wants us to make structure of our being energy. That's what Saturn wants in order to truly capture the essence of its depth and its ability to give us reward. Long-lasting, rooted reward. Okay. Here we go. Azure is being joined by the swan. Bridget is being joined by the goblin. How very interesting. Indriel's being joined by the dog. And Rochelle's being joined by love. This could not be a better reading for Capricorn. And I say this because Azure says your desired outcome will happen in the very near future. Have faith and don't force it. My little goats, you're going to want to push things. Don't force it, because here's the transformation to your psychic gifts. And this is what I was just talking about with the being energy of Saturn. As you transform your energy and you release the need to take action and put more of it as a directive, start to think of the physical is the B story, and the unphysical, that's a word. I don't know quite how, and then all of a sudden my words are getting choppy. The energies that you cannot see. We don't see the sun move. I mean, we see the results of the sun move, but we don't see the sun move. We see, we breathe in air, but we don't necessarily see that air unless it's evidenced by our lungs. So this is a little bit where the transformation comes in. This is about Capricorn starting to operate from a different vibration, because you're starting to see where you've been operating from your ego. If I don't do it, Capricorn, it won't get done. If I don't work hard, it won't happen. So Bridget is asking you to look deeper where you've been taking your actions based on your ego, which is not terrible. The ego is not to be villainized. The ego is our personality. It's part of the human experience. It's part of the reason we get empowered, because sometimes we walk into a situation or through a situation that we didn't think. Our ego said, I don't know if you can do that. But if we look deeper into our power, because the deep part is Indriel and the dog. Capricorn, you are a light being. And as you illuminate that light, you start to love your life a little bit more, because you're loving it from a different place. It's less of that obligation that Capricorn feels, or Saturn might make feel, and moving more into your heart chakra. Here we see Rochelle again, as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart. And there's the love card. Things start to shift. And the things that you want to experience, whether it be an intimate relationship, a dream that you've had for years that you put on hold, a dream you've had for minutes that you want to birth, as you allow yourself to go into that energy and then call upon God and the angels to show you, thank you for giving me the evidence so that I can more easily step into this vibration, that dealing and working with spirit is a concrete, solid action. That's where I'm putting it. Morning Star, Capricorn, Stellium, and North Node. Wow. Lots of transformation going on. Okay, here we go. We're going to go on to our Sagittariuses. And I want to offer this week also, just as a little button for Capricorn, as you contemplate moving forward, I think, if I remember correctly, the solar eclipse was in Capricorn, then we had the lunar eclipse in Cancer, and now we're going to have another, I believe, solar eclipse in Capricorn. Is that correct? Because if you think about it, Capricorn, being able to really dig deep into what it is you want to experience from your heart chakra gives these eclipses the opportunity to not pull the rug out from underneath you, but to then make it like a magic carpet. That's what I want to say. It's another lunar eclipse. Full moon solar. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Again, for those of you that are new, welcome, David C. I go backwards. I start at Pisces and work my way towards Aries. I did it a few Mercury retrogrades ago, and maybe a year now. So I just kept doing it that way. Just felt like balance for the universe, because everybody starts with Aries and Pisces always has to wait. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Lukey B. Welcome, Sammy's mom, Sammy. So good to see you. Okay. Here we go. Sagittarius, rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. Our first angel is Merlina. The second is Rochelle. She's coming out a lot today. The third is Fiona. And the final is Teresa. Okay. Oh, can you see Lucky underneath can you see him underneath the console? I can't see him from here, but anyway. All right, here we go. Sagittarius. Merlina is being joined by the butterfly. Rochelle is being joined by the death card. Fiona is being joined by the risk card. And Teresa is being joined by the dog. This is pretty cool. So, Merlina says you're confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. And then we have the butterfly, which is, again, we've talked about the transformation that we have. So I want to say this confusion and indecision, it feels very much like this is an earth vibration right now. We are going through, obviously there's a pandemic going on here in the United States. We have a presidential election. We have other, things coming up that are, I don't want to get into any sort of controversial conversation, but we're looking to find equality. We're looking to find each soul being able to express itself in its own way. Sagittarius, ninth house, higher beliefs, connection to the angelic realm, all those things you represent, and foreign ideas, foreign places, and foreign things. It is literally foreign to the human experience to allow for others' unique expression. We naturally want to know, where do you fit in my world? So we want to put people in compartments. And that has gone from an ability to find a little bit of structure to a compartment that doesn't have a door for evolution. So my point is this, Sagittarius, you may feel not confused per se, but you may be sitting in a vibration to see what is going on with this world. What will happen with all this? Exactly, Brianna, all these retrogrades that are pulling us to reflect and to really review what has been making us happy, because there's the transformation of the butterfly. And again, I want to reiterate that the caterpillar goes into that cocoon and literally thinks it's dying. It's so dark and so there's no light in that cocoon, and yet through that dark, quiet place, it transforms into something beautiful. And here we have, in our opportunity and our obstacle, is Rochelle asking us, and Sagittarius, more importantly, to come from your heart chakra. What is it that you want? Because spirit will deliver it. Fiona, in the angel's advice, says, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving it. And there's the risk card. The risk card is really believing a concept that has nothing solid here on the planet. It is literally risking the inspiration of an idea. And if I'm inspired to have that idea, how much focus can I really put into it and allow for it to reveal itself to me? The caterpillar doesn't know about the butterfly. It is not aware of it as it goes through that transformation, because for Sagittarius, we have Teresa, and right now she's a little bit of a card of worry for me. And then I see the dog, which is about unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. And I feel like for Sagittarius, this is an opportunity, because again, we see Rochelle here coming from my heart. This is a time to practice, what do I love? And not to the exclusion of others, but more from the idea that if I give life to the things that I love, if I give life to the things that I want to experience, am I not in some way allowing others that same privilege? Am I not in some ways shining a light on a path that may seem dim? I feel like this is a time when things are so polarized that those of us that are standing in I want to put it sort of, I don't want to say light and dark, but the connection to spirit makes me feel supported beyond my own eyeballs in this human experience. And as I continue to give life to that idea, and then spirit supports that through either, physical, financial support, contacts, whatever the dynamic is, then I'm holding a light for others. And I'm allowing myself to bring in more love. And that's what I think is going on for Sagittarius right now. It's about self-love. It's about allowing yourself to move into foreign dynamics and foreign ideas that for yourself. Because as you do that for yourself, the excitement will help bring on others or bring in others. So, okay, here we go. On to Scorpio.
I'm going to take a little sip of my tea. Okay, so many new people. I'm so excited to see you all. So welcome, welcome. Good morning, Carmen CC. I hope I said hi to you. I did to William. Elvia Rose. Welcome. It's your turn. Scorpio rising. Sun, moon. Well, actually, I go Scorpio. Scorpio, rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. And the reason I go in that order is because I believe the ascendant is who we are, the essence of who we are. The moon is our emotions. And then the stellium, to me, is like so many planets in one area has a strong influence. And I feel like I need to pay attention to that. Welcome, David C. Welcome, Eric. Nice to see you, Marigold 605. Miss Rissa, good to see you again. It's been a while. Glad to see you. Okay, let's go on to our Scorpios. Okay, and I just want to say, I don't know why I'm compelled to remind everybody, there is, with Mars moving into its natural sign, its rulership, I feel like while there is, the fire and, all of the challenging dynamics of Mars, I really feel like this is about the deeper truth of what makes us happy. So I want to kind of bring that up again, because I also want to go back to the drum. I want to go back to the idea that we are going through a transformation so that we come into this planet more aligned to the beat of our heart and what that is. And as we allow for this idea, as we allow ourselves to, I had said to people earlier, for those of you that just joined the room, that when you're doing your meditations, oftentimes they're focused on breath in and out, in and out. And this week, I feel like it's about focusing on the heartbeat and what that heart really wants to experience, regardless of what it thinks it can experience. That's the difference. The thinking what we can experience is more of a strategy in relation to what has been. So when we feel it, then we move into what can be. All right, here we go. Scorpio. Welcome, Annalisa. Welcome, Pickles. Okay. You bet, Scorpio twinsies. Okay. Our first angel for Scorpio is Layla. The second is Omega. The third is Chantal. And the final is Crystal. Okay, Layla is being joined by the cow. Omega is being joined by the truth. Chantal's being joined by the owl. And Crystal's being joined by the perception card. Okay, so here we have Layla and we have the cow. Layla represents spending time in nature, and the cow is about abundance. It's about asking and receiving, and it's about nourishment. When I look at this combination for Scorpio, I want to say that this is about, again, the connection to the angelic realm. This is about speaking. I think of Scorpio as such a deep, rich, I always see Avatar. I see you. I want to be seen. I don't always see the darkness of Pluto. I see the transformed energy of Pluto when I decide to get real. And when I decide to get real, it's how can I phrase it? It's kind of in viewing myself or my wants and desires without allowing the peanut gallery of the earth plane to get in my way, because I feel like this is about nourishment from spirit. I feel like Scorpio, if you could get into some water or even put your feet in grass, any sort of, sit on a stone, anything in nature right now, and I feel like spirit will start to give you signs and omens in the form of the cow, asking and receiving, because in the opportunity or the obstacle is Omega, the angel of victory. And it's about keeping up the good work. And the good work is stepping into your truth. And what does Pluto represent but the deepest, deepest truth? not the superficial truth. And so when you do that, this is the angel in the angel's advice. Chantal represents romance, and then there's the owl. The two sides of the coin. Where am I standing in my intimate body telling myself a story that doesn't serve me? And how can I shift that story to something that serves me? Because I want to put it this way. Oftentimes when we've been in relationships, they can be out of balance. And we stay there because they're familiar. We stay there because we're used to the landscape, even if the landscape's slightly challenging. And I feel like at this time, in order for Scorpio to truly feel nourished, it's about spending time with spirit, being real with what you really need in the form of your love body. What do I really need to feel loved? So if I put myself there and I ask that question, I don't need to be loved necessarily for I guess the way I want to put it is my spiritual part of me, the part of me that does this Sunday morning. If I met somebody and I was physically attracted to them and I started a romance and yet they thought this was stupid, I couldn't be here. I couldn't be in that situation. So I feel like, because I say it this way, because in the final position is Crystal saying, have faith and hope. There's something more on the horizon. And then there's the perception card. And I feel like this is in direct relation to what spirit has. It's like, sometimes or oftentimes the human calculates what they can do in relation to where they've been, into the relation to their resources financially, into the relation, if I want to do this, how will so-and-so feel about that? And I feel like for Scorpio right now, to go down to your deepest truth and allow yourself to go to spirit with that deeper truth, to sit in nature. And I really want to say it this way, because I feel like I want to put my feet in the grass. I want to sit on a rock, and I kind of want to, I feel like there's I don't even know, if you sat on a rock, maybe a lizard would walk by, but I need to pay attention to that. And then I need to start to listen to the beat of my own heart, because it'll help you trust a perception that doesn't take you down the Plutonian drain. That's probably the biggest challenge, is the contemplation of, what if I move towards what I love, what will happen to me? Will I lose one thing in order to go for something I'm not sure I can manifest? So it's about taking that time to connect with spirit so that you can truly feel the signs and the omens that you're being supported, nurtured to move towards what you want. Rather than bringing so much disruption that you feel stymied, it'll actually clear things. Okay, here we go, on to our Libras. Welcome, Kimberly. I am not a Scorpio. I am a Libra sun. I am an Aries rising. I am a Taurus moon. I have Mercury and Neptune. If you go whole sign, I have Mercury and Neptune conjunct in the 8th house of Scorpio. So that might where my Scorpio you might feel that energy coming from me. I also have a lot of Libra in my chart because of my moon and my sun, and then my Venus is in the 6th house Virgo conjunct Pluto. So I really feel like a large part of my work is to transform Venusian things. And I don't just mean females. I'm talking about self-worth. I'm talking about how we make money. I'm talking about our possessions. I'm talking about our dreams. Okay, on to our Libras, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Oh, Patricia, good to see you. Welcome. And they're right opposite my moon, because my moon is technically in the 2nd house and whole sign. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think Neptune is at 10 degrees. Either Neptune or Mercury is, and it's directly opposite my moon. So, okay. Libra, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Okay. Our first angel is Archangel Michael. The second is Isaiah. The third is Merlina. And the final is Daniel. Daniel, the angel of marriage for Libra, the sign of partnerships. Okay, joining Archangel Michael is the Queen. Joining Isaiah is the Disruption card. Joining Merlina is the Wasp. Ooh. Oh, sorry, did I snort? And the final is the Horse joining Daniel. Okay, so Archangel Michael is the great protector, but here it's really talking about having the courage to make the changes that I want. And I want to say it this way because the Queen to me is not a feminine energy in the sense of man versus woman as much as it's a receptive energy. And she's sitting very calmly on her throne. She represents feminine energy. She represents sexuality. She represents feminine friendships. And she represents fertility. And right now, I feel like for Libra, when I look at this, there is the potential that Libra likes to be cooperative. And Brian Coulter, when I've been studying with him a bit about past lives, and when the South Node is in Libra, it often will represent somebody who's been self-sacrificing in a relationship or given up their power. And for some reason today, I'm kind of seeing it that way. It feels like Libra, it's a little bit time to put yourself in the position of the Queen and to receive and to really start to give birth to new ideas as to this disruption card does not feel bad to me. It feels like sometimes love is disruptive when love is out of balance. So when I look at this, I feel like Isaiah is talking, it's time to give birth to new ideas and to look at the idea of will disruption actually serve a higher vibration? Because in the angel's advice, Merlina is saying you're confused and indecisive and in many ways anticipating a stingy situation, anticipating that if I do something different, then maybe I will suffer. And it could be potentially in your partnerships here. But I want to put it this way, because Daniel, the angel of marriage, talks about assisting you with partnership and marriage, but he also very much talks about the story I bring into my new situation, the history of my love life. And I feel like this is not talking about leaving your love life and going in a new direction, but allowing Daniel's energy to let your perception of any opportunities coming at you or current situations being able to be transformed in some way. And I mean this at a higher vibration for Libra, not it doesn't feel like it's about detonating our lives as much as it's about realigning how Libra is looking at their half of a partnership and then allowing yourself to step into something that allows you to receive in that partnership versus just constantly trying to be fair, trying to be balanced, because sometimes people will take advantage of that. They don't mean to take advantage of it, but it becomes a habit of how we show up. And if you've been in a relationship for a while and you've been kind of that self-sacrificing, more compromising, overly compromising, then there may be a bit of a disruption on the person who's received that. So your willingness to kind of go through the stormy waters of that transformation, because I think this is really about allowing yourself to go in a new direction in your partnerships where you allow yourself to receive more. Now let me be very clear about this for Libra, because I don't think this is about having a conversation. I don't think this is about, oh, dear husband or wife, let's sit down and see how you can serve me better. I think this is more about giving life to a bigger idea that if I start to carve out time for myself, if I start to take a long bath in the evening, if I decide to go to the gym or go for a workout or to go sit on a rock and meditate, that the things around me will survive and me taking care of me will support those that I love and want to take care of. So here we go. That's all I got for Libra right now. I'm going to go on to Virgo. Okay. Nira, you've been dizzy, huh? Did you fall on your head? Do you know why you're dizzy? Okay, here we go, Virgo. Because I want to offer this. I know it's going to sound weird, but I fell on my head years ago. I got a concussion. And I went and had a cranial sacral massage. I didn't know what that was at the time. It was recommended to me. And I'm not a doctor. I just telling you my own personal experience. And this woman, basically, I think she did like Reiki on me because I was unfamiliar with the no touch, and she just worked on my head. I'm telling you, I sat there for an hour going, when is she going to rub my head? She never did. And I got off that table and I was never dizzy again. So crazy. It's one of those experiences that you have that starts to make you believe in the unknown. All right, here we go. On to our Virgos, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Okay. Sammy's mom, Sammy, that's awesome. Good morning, Esther. Welcome. I hope I said hi to everybody. I hate when I miss somebody. Okay. You bet, TiVo. Here we go. For our Virgos, rising sun, moon, and stellium. The first angel is Celeste. The second is Patience. The third is Astera. And the final is Caressa. All right, Isri. Wow, Kimberly, that is a lot of planets in Virgo. Wow. So this is for you too. Celeste is being joined by the horse. Patience is being joined by the wind fairy. Astera is being joined by the swan. And Caressa is being joined by the lady of the lake. Okay, so normally, I have my own language with this deck. And when I see Celeste, I always think, well, you can move me anywhere in the world. I think the way I think, and I'm going to take my actions based on those thoughts. But today, for some reason, Celeste is coming through just like she looks to me. A new home or a new place of employment is going to usher in new energy. And then we have the horse. Now, oftentimes I'll talk about the horse being an intuitive animal, that it doesn't follow fear. It's also about moving in a new direction. And I want to say it this way because the horse is like the first car, because the horse is how man started to really make connections. It allowed humans to go beyond their small tribes and venture out into new experiences. It very much feels very Sagittarian to me. So I want to offer it this way because as you, as a Virgo, contemplate this, if you've wanted to move to a new home or you've been contemplating a new dynamic for work, I believe that this is twofold. It is about giving life to this new direction and then to intuitively find out where you have fears about moving in a new direction. And then once those fears can be identified, I think, and I'm going to go to the final position, there's an opportunity for a new chapter that brings in, again, new happiness. Caressa says you're at the end of a life cycle. New happiness awaits you. And then the Lady of the Lake is asking you to have the courage to go towards what you want. What is most authentic? Absolute truth, courage, self-respect, and responsibility. Mars has gone into Aries for probably 6 months because of the whole retrograde dynamic. I think that's what I remember. Mars, per David Cochrane, is the truth seeker. So for my Virgos, I feel like Celeste is asking you, where do I want to live? Where do I want to work? It's time to give life to those ideas, because here, patience in the opportunity, the obstacle, is saying, now that you've what did she say? Now is a time to learn and study and gather information because you will soon synthesize that information. And I believe this is about analysis. You're going to analyze what it is that I want and start to do this, Virgo, practical Mercury, from a more intuitive, from the transformational place that's being offered as you reach for the stars of what you really want and in your dreams and desires. So let me kind of break it down, because this is a time when the world is changing so dramatically. The way that we're it used to be 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and that's not going to happen anymore. Kids went to school and they had a certain dynamic. This is going to shift as well. I'm not saying we're never going to go back and work in brick and mortar. We're never going to have our kids in school again, but we're definitely recalibrating how that's happening. So as Virgo gives life to what do I really want, in the way of where do I want to plant myself? And then allowing yourself to give life to this direction. It may not even be a physical move. It may be going back to what our drum was asking from us, to go back to that heartbeat. What is so real to me? What do I want? And then I feel like it's also about, as Caressa says, that you're coming to the end of a life cycle. This aligns to these eclipses. This is a year of unprecedented eclipses, 6 of them instead of the normal 4, as I recall. So us as humans going towards what is our deeper truth of what we want to experience. And I want to say it this way, because the experience can be one of ease. You may not want to do anything. You may just want to live a peaceful life, like this, I don't need to really go conquer the earth. I just want to relax, have plenty of resources so that I can just chill. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's where I'm going. On to our Leos. Again, Leo, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. If you have a stellium in one house or sign, I feel like I'm shedding, guys. Every time I turn around, I see one of my hairs somewhere. I'm sorry. Pay attention to that. What do I do to calm myself? Miri, are you the one you're the dizzy? Are you the one that's dizzy? I'm sorry, I'm stopping. I'm just kind of waiting for an answer. Okay, Nira, I want to say it this way. I want to offer the drum beat, binaural beats. I'm not sure, that you should be wearing headphones right now, but just the idea of being able to connect to the heartbeat and then saying to spirit, thank you for me feeling the protection of your energy around me. Because what happens is when we start to get worked up, we start to tell ourselves stories that we're not even sure are true. And they're usually not good stories. I'm dizzy. Could end up being, oh my God, I have a brain tumor. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And it could simply be that spirit is wanting you to, the dizziness may be about pulling yourself back so that you can reassess about what's super important to you and where you've been walking in habitual steps, I guess. So, all right, on to our Leos. Yes, Shelley, Leo, Leo, Leo. Welcome, Jacob. So good to see you here. Okay. What I've discovered as I've done this work is more often than not, when we start to really think about the things that we want, let's say, we're concerned about our physical health, okay? What we end up doing inadvertently is running the scenarios of what the potentials are. If I do this, if I don't do that, da, 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 and we disempower ourselves. The human body intrinsically knows what to do to find balance. And I'm going to say something that may seem weird, but it's just how it played out for me. There's a show on TV called My 600-Pound Life. And I've never personally watched it, but I've seen the commercials. And I said one day to Spirit, how does the human body support that? Like, how do they not, how does that happen? And Spirit said to me that the human body does not necessarily determine when we cross over. The soul does, because we get tired of living in an experience that isn't authentic to our truth. And then the tiredness creates dynamics within the body that take it out of balance. Now let's flip the script. Nira, as you say, I'm here because I've got things to do, and my body knows how to support that. My body knows how to come back in balance. Then what will happen is spirit will inadvertently support that by inspiring you to take action in certain ways. You may hear a piece of information. You may get an idea in your head. And as you take action on that inspired idea, then you will see results from it, which will then support the listening to the inspirations, which will then support the momentum of the body coming back in balance. That's what I want to say. Okay, thank you, CJD. Very sweet. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. On to Leo. I know, guys, I really talk a lot. It's just a challenge for me. I can't really stop it. It's just who I am. Thank God for you guys there, for Juan and for Small doing the timestamps. Okay, here we go. Leo, Serena, the angel of abundance, is our first angel. The second is Xana, angel of protection. The third is Caressa, new chapters. And the final is Merlina. Okay. Thank you, Small. Okay. Give it a good shuffle. Oh, thank you, Nira, for joining us. Okay, here we go. Joining Serena for Leo is the focus card. Joining Xana is the novice. Joining Caressa is the letting go card. And joining Merlina is the serpent. Serena is the angel of abundance, but it's interesting because when I think of abundance, I don't necessarily think about money. I think about resources. I think about ease. I think about things. I've been so fortunate that people have helped me in times when I didn't have money. I had a friend of mine help me with my website when I was first starting, didn't want a penny for it. So I feel like for my Leo, it's about ease. And I want to say it this way because I think it's now about the focus of ease. I feel like, I love Leo, fifth house, fun, creativity, romance. I mean, there's so many yummy things in the fifth house. And yet sometimes we look at a Leo and we're like, hey, tone it down. Calm down. I know you're the sun, you rule the universe. And I feel like this last year or so, Leo has been trying to be a team player. That's the way I want to put it. And I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but when I look at this right now, I feel like the focus is really on receiving whatever it is, whatever resources you need. And then on top of it, I feel like, Leo, I want you to show me how to have fun. I want you to remind me that this place is fun, that there is romance in the world, that there is a viability, because we go from the fifth house to the sixth house of work and slavery. And the world right now is so crazy that I want to put it this way, okay? Working from home is kind of a weird mind meld because it's kind of like you get up and you can do whatever you want, and yet you really can't do whatever you want. And maybe sometimes we tend to overwork because of the lack of structure. So when you go to an office, you may kibitz with your neighbor, or you may, go to the water cooler or go to the lunchroom and chat for a few minutes. When you're at home, you're not doing any of that. So there's a weird feeling. And I feel like, I don't know why I'm going here, but I feel like I need to find the value and the importance of playtime during these transits, during this transformational year. I want to say that because here we have the novice. The novice is in our opportunity or our obstacle, and the novice talks about new beginnings, okay? And then we have protection.
And in the angel's advice, we have the letting go card and we have Caressa. This letting go card for me is really like Elsa going up the mountain. When Elsa in Frozen goes up the mountain, she is no longer playing to the fear of what other people will think. She is ready to let her light shine, to build her ice castles. No more is she going to dumb down. And that's what I think this is for Leo. I'm not asking you to come in the room and suck all the energy out, but I do think that Leo knows how to lead me into playtime in a way that makes me want to celebrate. And I know it sounds funny, but this is where I'm going with Merlina. I don't even think Merlina right now is representing confusion. I think she's representing Merlin, the grand wizard. And then there's the healing. That's what the serpent offers, healing and knowledge. And I think that there is a wisdom to receiving all the resources. I know this is going to sound a little weird, but for Leo, receiving all the resources that you need to continue to show those around you that when you believe in joy, when you believe in fun, when you believe that there can be good in the midst of bad, then everything can transform. I really don't know how else to put it. There's the protection card. I don't think this is about money. I mean, sure, some of us may need money, but what good is money if we're not prepared to enjoy it? You know, what good is it? All right, I hope that made sense. Seems a little off, but I mean, not off, but it just seems a little, whatever it is. Okay, let's go on to our Cancers. Now, I entitled this video, Mars is moving into Aries, it's moving home. And as I start to say that, I feel like I kind of want to go to the idea of, everybody has Mars in a different place or Aries in a different house, but I feel like allowing ourselves to capitalize again on Aries, or I'm sorry, Mars representing the truth seeker, okay? The truth seeker of what makes me happy, what makes me feel fulfilled, woof, as I fall off, what makes me a unique individual on this planet and make me feel good about that. So, okay, are we talking about the dust storm heading to the US, guys? Or is that where we're at now? As I shuffle for my Cancers, I have to tell you, when the whole pandemic started, I have a emergency kit and I have the N9, whatever they are, masks. And I didn't want to waste my mask on the pandemic because I was fearful of a dust ball, okay, or an earthquake of some kind, and me needing a mask because it's literally I can't breathe. So it's interesting that this dust ball is heading our way. I personally am going to put a wall of Elsa protection so that it stays out of my energy. Want to offer that to you guys as well. Here we go. Cancer, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. I'm really surprised we haven't heard more about the second coming, because with everything going on, I remember Mount St. Helens as well. We got ash all the way down here in California. I can't even imagine what it was like up in the northern Pacific. Okay, Cancer, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Our first angel is Ariel. The second is Serena. The third is Seraphina. And the final is Grace and Antoinette. Oh my goodness, Nira. It sounds like the coming of Christ. Everything they say in the book of Revelations. I can't help but think somehow there's something really better on the other side of it, because I can't believe that my soul would choose to be in such tumultuous times and just have it be nasty. I really feel like I'm much more aligned to, if I have to walk through a dark path, then I feel like I'm somehow aligned to see the light at the end of it, that I wouldn't just come here for the icky. I'd have to come here for the icky and the reward. So here we go. Joining Ariel for my Cancers is the Lady of the Lake. Joining Serena is the Partnership card. Joining Serafina is the Perception card. And joining Grace and Antoinette is the Deer. Wow. Okay. So Cancer, Ariel talks about new spiritual and psychic experiences changing the way you view yourself and others and your life experience in general. And I want to say this, any connection you have to your higher power, you can call it God, you can call it Jesus, you can call it source energy. But this connection is real. And I believe that for Cancers, the connection is starting to unearth things for yourself. It's a time, this card represents self-respect. The Lady of the Lake represents courage. Excalibur is a sword of truth coming up through these tumultuous waters. I feel very much for my Cancers that there's a deeper truth that has been bubbling up for you. During this last few months, even before the pandemic started, I was feeling a little bit of melancholy with Cancer's energy for things connections that they wanted to make. And I feel like this is a time of having courage to see beyond the physical experience, to connect with spirit in a way that says, this is my deepest truth. And thank you for giving me the evidence to experience it here in the 3D world, because you haven't yet. And I want to put it this way, because for my Cancers, in the final position, we have really a lot of compassion for self here. Grace and Antoinette is a card of compassion. And I want to offer it this way, because the compassion for self will also help you have compassion for others as they walk through their fears. And it's a time to be gentle and diplomatic as we're all kind of being pushed up against some pretty interesting times. Here we talk about, when we start to add all the things that are going on around the world that are challenging, and we know about these things because of the advantages we have to be able to communicate through the internet and connect us all, regardless of our time zone, where we are on the planet. So when we give life to a bigger wisdom, because I really feel like this is a time of being compassionate of self. A Cancer, is ruled by the moon, and the moon is emotional. It is emotive. It is family. It is togetherness. It is that Norman Rockwell painting. So I feel like, because here I go in my opportunity, my obstacle, I have the Partnership card, and I have Serena, saying that God is in charge of the resources of the people that you love. Right now, God's taking care of them. He's taking care of their well-being. He's taking care of their abundance. He's taking care of the connections that I believe you're looking to experience or re-experience. Because Serafina, in the Angel's Advice, is offering a happy change to the family. And then there is the Perception card. So while you may feel separated right now from those that you love, or some sort of distance, it may not necessarily even be because of the pandemic. There may be disagreements. There may be different, we've had some polarizing dynamics astrologically that are going to make people stand behind their beliefs, whether they feel in a way, standing up for your beliefs in a way that might be to, I guess I want to put it this way. People have been so invested in their beliefs that they've been inadvertently not allowing others. It's like, listen to my belief, please acknowledge my belief, and inadvertently not acknowledging the other. So I kind of want to say this way for my Cancers. As you connect with spirit and you look at ways that spirit is supporting that, and you have the courage to see things not from the place of your challenging emotions, but from a higher perspective, spirit will start to make you feel more abundant and relaxed in your relationships, which will allow your perception to enjoy things from a different place, which will help you be compassionate with yourself as you
I guess I want to put it this way. Cancer to me feels so emotional and not negatively emotional, just so loving and so wanting the world to be kumbaya and great and all of that. And it's just not a kumbaya time. It's the opposite. It's the little bit of the disruption before the kumbaya. So having some compassion for self and for others as well as you walk through this period of time, because it may make you feel, why do we all have to be so hard on ourselves? Why do we all have to be so hard on each other? So here we go. All right. Oh boy, Sahara dust coming to the UK. All right. Whew. You guys, I just can't even imagine. This is really the butterfly effect on steroids, right? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Going on to our Geminis. Gemini, rising sun, moon, and stellium. And I'm going to start to move with a little bit more gas because I don't want this to be too long. Okay. Chris Gray, welcome. I go backwards. I start at Pisces and work towards Aries. So yes, I have done Scorpio. I'm on to Gemini now. Gemini rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. The first angel I have is Archangel Gabriel. The second is Rochelle. The third is Teresa. And the final is Sonia. Rising sun, moon, and stelliums. And I want to remind you all that the nodes have shifted. So I believe we have, it's in the, I can't recall, I think Gemini is the south node. No, Sagittarius is the south node and Gemini is in the north node at 29 degrees, which is that very intuitive degree. So Gemini, you might find yourself feeling even more intuitive. And that's going to be interesting since you're ruled by Mercury, which is about thought. So here we go. Archangel Gabriel is being joined by the Joy card. Rochelle is being joined by the dog. Teresa is being joined by the bee. And Sonia is being joined by the love card. My goodness gracious, this is awesome. So Archangel Gabriel talks about having an important life's purpose in communications and the arts. Frankly, you guys, this is an old deck, and everything since the inception of this deck has turned into communications. We all can express our artistic and creative expression through the internet, through various TikTok and other things. So I want to offer this for my Geminis. I really feel like this is a time to, when we look at the Joy card, this is a time to, and I know we just talked about all this, like basically, the coming of Christ, the craziness of the world right now. But I feel like this is really more about being hopeful to the future and self-talk, and to start to move yourself towards what brings you joy. Because in the opportunity or the obstacle is Rochelle and the love card. And I want to put it this way, because if indeed Gemini would like to experience a loving relationship, either with a newcomer or through an existing relationship, it's kind of time to start to give life to that idea. And then for Gemini to show up as the energy they want to receive, because this is my opportunity to follow my heart. And then here's the dog, unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. And then I have Teresa, the angel of worry, and the bee card. I want to offer it this way. The bee is my being energy. What do I believe? What is my attitude? What is my disposition as I move forward? Am I worried? Because Teresa represents worry. Your victory comes through believing in love, not in what you can see. Gemini, in some ways, like Virgo, practical. I want to see it in my everyday life. I want to know it's there. And part of it is not knowing it's there because spirit is bringing it to you. There's the love card, and there's Sonia. So I want to put it this way for my Geminis. There is, for every partnership, there is two people. So you've done the work.
You've been paying attention to how you're showing up. You've been making adjustments. You've been doing your connection with spirit, thanking them for bringing in that great relationship or the revival of your relationship. Now you've got to give life to the idea of the other person doing their work, that the spirit is taking care of them through these transformational times, really realizing that what they want is love, not, you know, the when I talk about love, I'm never talking about romantic love. I mean, God bless, I am Leo. I love romance, but real love is that love that when things aren't easy, I'm gentle with you. When things aren't easy, I don't turn on you and make you the villain, make you the bad guy. We're a team, ride or die. So that's what I feel like's coming for Gemini. If indeed you've been in a relationship and maybe, you've separated, and maybe the dynamic of this world is allowing your person to really realize what you bring to the table. And in doing so, coming through not just with love, but with appreciation. I would much rather be appreciated than to be loved. Because you know what? My mom used to say this really crappy thing to me. She'd be, I don't really like you, but I love you. And I didn't feel like love at all. How do you love something you don't like? So I felt like I'd rather be appreciated, because even if there's parts of me that you don't like, if you can appreciate them, you don't have to villainize me. And then we can move to another vibration. So that's what I got for Gemini. Love is on the docket. And even if you can't see it, whatever insecurities you have about it, turn them over to Archangel Gabriel. Thank you for giving me the eyes to experience something new. Thank you for giving me the courage to allow you to take the baton and know you're being my ambassador for what I want to experience. So, all right, oil painter, awesome. I am so ready for a new relationship. And now I say to spirit, I invite it in. You do the heavy lifting, and I will be ready to receive. Okay, on to our Tauruses. Taurus rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. I still have Uranus sitting right on my Taurus moon at 9 degrees. So far, it has not been too traumatic, so I got to say that. I expected a little bit more electricity with that Uranus. I don't think it's happened. Of course, I think I kind of want to knock on wood when I say that. All right. Okay, here we go. Taurus. First angel flew out, and it's Astera. The second is Yvonne. The third is Desiree. And the final is Merlina. Okay. Okay. All right. For my Tauruses, joining Astera is the Hawk. Joining Yvonne is the Water Fairy. Joining Desiree is the Protection card. And joining Merlina is the Risk card. Okay. All right, Taurus. First thing I want to say, Astera talks about reaching for the stars with your dreams and desires and not compromising. I don't believe this is about being stubborn with other people. I believe this is an intention to spirit. I believe that this is when I reach for the stars, it's then my job. I often will see the hawk as rising above my fears. I don't think it's this way. Taurus, Uranus rules unexpected things that can happen, in a flash. And I feel like as you put your directive to spirit, what it is that you want, you're starting to get signs and omens of that it's coming through. And I want to put it this way, because they're not solid, these signs. They feel fluid. They feel more like Hansel and Gretel, little pieces of breadcrumbs. And I have to keep following them, because when I go in the final position, I'll go back, is Merlina saying you're confused.
because I don't think this is confusion. I think this is the breadcrumbs. I still have to continue to follow the breadcrumbs and watch for the signs as the world is transforming and conspiring to bring me to the place I want to be, because that's the risk card. The risk card is really about risking a bigger picture. And that's what Astera is saying. That's what, I'm risking the bigger picture of what I want. I pay attention to the signs and the omens that I'm being supported in this endeavor. Because for my Tauruses, at this moment, it's being vulnerable to your emotions. Yvonne is a card of vulnerability to me, and the water fairy is about emotions. And then in the angel's advice, we have Desiree saying conditions aren't favorable, but you're being protected. So this is what how I want to put it. The earth plane right now is recalibrating how we operate. We're recalibrating how we operate in the educational system, in our work environment, in our self-expression, because that is exactly what Uranus wants: freedom and liberation. And Taurus represents stability, right? So in some ways, what is the most stable thing? Our own self-expression. So as we allow ourselves to really step into that solid, we will see signs and omens. And it is, Taurus is earth sign. In some respects, Taurus is going to want to illuminate the path so that the bull can walk through the path. Right now, the path may be just slightly, I want to put it this way. I feel like the path is being excavated. So there's a certain amount of the path that you can walk, and then we have to wait for the rest of the excavation. The risk card, Marlena. So overall, for Taurus, for this week, as we go into Mars and Aries, Mars being the truth seeker versus the warrior lobbing off our head versus the anger and the resentment that can show up, but instead working with the universe and saying, maybe, I can't quite see how it's going to play out. I can be vulnerable enough knowing I'm being protected by spirit. And then I want to offer the drum again, because I want to offer the idea of going into my heartbeat, of allowing my meditation, rather than to focus on my breath this week, focus on what does the rhythm of my heart want? What is the deeper truth of what I want? And as I allow for that rhythm, and I almost feel like if you guys can find, again, I want to kind of recommend hanging drums. It's a really pretty sound, at least to me it is. And allowing for this idea of focusing on this rhythm, because the rhythm is the baton pass in some ways. It's putting my directive up to spirit and then watching as the signs and the omens come through, and me being brave enough to risk sitting in a place of unknowing. Okay, on to our final sign, Aries. I'm excited as the Aries rising. I've felt like such a slug for the last 6 months. I mean, I get things done. I'm not going to say I don't get things done, but I'm not pushing. And I'm not really, taking the bull by the horns. So I'm really hoping that with this shift with Mars coming into Aries, that I'm going to start to feel a little bit more gassed up. Okay, here we go. Aries rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. Oh my goodness, Miss Rissa, I'm so sorry to hear that so many people are having the very unexpected challenges. One of my tribe members, her beloved dog, has been diagnosed with cancer, and so I've been sending prayers to her. So I feel like right now, what we can do is just do our best to send out the most loving vibration. And then, because sometimes when we find out about somebody who's going through a challenge, we inadvertently pray from a place of fear. Please, Lord, please make this better, please. And I want to shift that in some ways to being like, thank you, Lord, for giving me the heart to believe in miracles. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the courage to see the wisdom of this challenge and then to triumph over it. I feel like that's where we need to go. Okay, final sign, Aries. I'm getting a little long-winded today. Yes, sending love and light for the balance. Okay. Aries, our first angel is Chantal. The second is Archangel Raphael. The third is Maya. And the final is Teresa. Okay. Ooh. Well, the eagle just flew out to join Chantal. Archangel Raphael is being joined by the Earth Fairy. Maya is being joined by the Movement card. And Teresa is being joined by the Perception card. Okay, so we have Chantal representing romance, representing the resurgence of a romance that you're currently in, a relationship that you're currently in, or we have a new relationship coming in. And then we have the eagle, which represents the connection to the angelic realm, integrity, and spirit. So here I want to say this because I don't know that Aries, I want to kind of put it this way because it's kind of funny. The thing I noticed today is that Venus has gone direct and then Mars went into Aries. And I have, obviously I think men are from Mars, women are from Venus, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like there's something here about Aries. I kind of want to put it this way. I feel like it's more about standing in the truth of wanting to be in a relationship. Aries represents independence, represents, I can do it my way. I'm good by myself. And I feel like maybe, and being an Aries rising, maybe it's more about being in a relationship. And I think that there's the potential that Aries may contemplate the restriction of a relationship versus the openness of a relationship. Because when I go into the final position, and I'll go to the other ones as well, I get Teresa. And Teresa represents taking care of others. And then we have the Perception card. And I almost feel like it's the potential that Aries may feel out of balance in relationship and that they're going to need that even to take care of themselves as well as taking care of others in relationship. You need to be seen and acknowledged for what you bring to the table in a relationship. Because in the opportunity, the obstacle is the Earth Fairy and Archangel Raphael. And I do think that this is a healing of the foundation of how Aries perceives relationships. Because in the angel's advice, we have Maya, the angel of schooling and education, our energetic education, and then we have the Movement card. So I want to offer it this way. Being an Aries rising, and I'm now of a certain age, I think most of you know I'm 60 years old. I never got married. I never had any children. And I've contemplated one to be in a relationship. And honestly, when I contemplate it, I think about what I'm going to have to give up to be in a relationship. And it's not the direction that energetically brings in a relationship. It's actually what pulls one off. So for my Aries, I feel like it's time to dig deep with a deep, deep sense of integrity about what is your deepest truth in your relationships and what makes you happy. It's about giving life to the idea that whatever makes you Aryan can live and thrive within a relationship. I really think so. And I think in doing so, it will open up an opportunity for you to learn about spirit, bringing in a dynamic that supports that. So let me break it down in sort of a weird kind of metaphor. Let me just say Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is the most powerful woman on the planet. I guess arguably, but from my point of view, she is. And she's been with Stedman forever. And her rise in influence is unprecedented, really. And this man held his own throughout her whole career. And my observation of their relationship, having never married, choosing each other year after year, decade after decade, is very impressive to me. So when I talk to spirit about the potential of a relationship, I always say, bring my Stedman to me. Because I want someone who's not intimidated by my Aryan ways, who can see the Libra in me, who's willing to be cooperative, but also that Taurus that is like, she's a little stubborn sometimes when she thinks she's got
knows what she knows. And you add my intuition onto the whole thing. So I say to Spirit, thank you for bringing my Stedman to me, my version of Stedman, the person I've contracted to be, the person who is perfectly at ease and comfortable within his own skin to be with a person like me. So that's what I want to offer, because I really do think this is about opening up to intimacy. I think it's about opening up to the idea of give and take, and that if you find someone, you don't have to give up too much and you don't feel like you're taking too much. I feel like this is an opportunity to shift Aries perception. And here we go. Here we are. We're in eclipse season. Maybe this is the time that we've all contracted as souls to let go of whatever doesn't serve us and move us into an energy that does serve us. And in doing so, we're serving others. We're serving others by continuing to believe our lives are viable, our lives are thriving, our lives still have much more happiness and dreams to be experienced. So that's where I'm going. That's all I got to say. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Rasmus, so good to see you. It's been a while. Welcome, Jody. I think I got everybody. Okay. All right. So that's it for today. Why is it that most light workers are single and lonely? You know, that's a really good question, Nira, and one I don't know if I have an answer for right now. It might be a vibrational thing. It might be where it's difficult to live a truth that is not authentic. So I don't know, but I think I'll contemplate that and see what happens next week. I'm single, but I'm not really lonely. I'm really not lonely. I have moments of wanting companionship, but I don't know if I'm lonely. All right. So I just want to say this for you guys. I want to remind you of the drum. I want to remind you that this week, as you meditate, try focusing in on the beat of your heart, or to facilitate a heartbeat, a rhythmic tone that might help you go deeper into your dreaming and journeying within to find your deeper truth. And as you find that deeper truth, to know that Mars is supporting that and working for you in many ways, no matter what the sign, for the next 6 months. It's kind of supporting the deeper truth of what makes you happy, what makes you thrive, what makes you feel like getting up in the morning. Okay, that's it. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. If you'd like to book a reading with me, you can go to Lada's website, and I'm in the readers menu. And please come back every Sunday. I'm here at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and CJD. I look forward to hearing from you. Again, you have been gifted a half-hour free reading from me. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Sending love and light. Namaste. Peace out.